Yo, Yozan can ball. What is up, y'all? It's your man, Dad Dude, bringing you guys another video. I'm giving out subscriptions down below, so go click that button. I'd appreciate it. We are getting to see Yozan versus Sora way sooner than I thought he would. I didn't think Yozan would get to play in this game, and to be honest, I'm not really a fan of the way he gets into the game. He basically jumps over the railing, lands on the court, goes up to his coach, and says, "I really want to play," and he gets to play. Like, what the hell? It shouldn't work that way. There are so many players on Yokohama's bench who work just as hard as Yozan and put the time in, have earned their way onto the bench. But all of a sudden, Yozan gets to come in and play because he gives some emboldened speech about how much he wants to play against Sora and all this other bullshit. I wish they would have came up with a better reason for Yozan playing, like some schematic reason or some maybe injury. Just something better than, "Hey coach, I really want to play and therefore I get to play." I just think that's a lame ass reason to get Yozan into the game. Now, when Yozan actually gets into the game, Yozan can straight up ball, man. Like, we don't know yet if Yozan can shoot like Sora can, but his game seems to be what we one day hope Sora's game will be. The guy has great court vision and court awareness. He makes passes that put his teammates in position to score. Now, going forward, Yokohama's coach does say that Yozan is more adept at making plays in transition, which makes sense given Yozan's height. Being in transition, the court is way more open. It's a lot easier to see passing lanes. The lanes aren't as congested, and there's less players. Like, the help defender isn't as close to you. So there's so many things about transition that make life easier for a shorter player. So maybe that's Yozan's growth, where in the half court set he gets a lot better on offense. But right now, man, he is coming in and changing the whole tempo of the game. He is getting Yokohama running up and down the court. And for a team like Kuzu, who can't really make a lot of substitution to keep players fresh, that's going to tax them a lot. They're already tired. They're already down a lot of points. It's going to be hard to come back from that point deficit when you have someone like Yozan and Fula on the court who have a pretty good connection already, and they're just running up and down the court, gassing all the Kuzu players out. It's going to be hard to make a comeback. Talking about Kuzu High specifically, it's going to be hard to make that comeback, but they were mounting. That's what they were doing in the third quarter. They were mounting a pretty decent comeback. Now, they were down like 30-something points, so making a comeback is, relative to what they were down by. They were down by 30-something. Now they were only down by 19 after that. So, a comeback. They weren't doing like much to make the game that competitive, but they were scoring points and they were getting defensive stops. And so they were proving themselves somewhat a worthy opponent. But with Yozan coming into the game, Yozan just completely ends that mini comeback Kuzu was making. Now they're down almost 30 points again, and this is just another example of how dominant Yokohama is as a team. Yozan wasn't even supposed to play in this game. He was just somebody in the rafters there to cheer on his upperclassmen and help cheer them to a win. He wasn't supposed to play. He's not even a bench warmer. He's below that. But Yozan comes in and he's still a really good basketball player. That just shows that Yokohama is a much deeper team, and they have such a wealth of talent on their team that if Yokohama was like really just seriously trying to win this game, like no holds barred, just we're gonna go out and whatever we have to do to win, they will blow Kuzu High out. Kuzu High would not have a chance because all Yokohama would have to do is just rotate new starting fives or new like 5-man lineups to the game with fresh players, and their players are talented enough where they can bring in a whole new lineup, and Kuzu High would just be too tired to compete. Like Kuzu High, even if they brought in like their B or C team into the game, Kuzu might be individually more talented than those players, but they're going to be fresher. So if Yokohama was just dead set on winning this game at all costs, that's all they would have to do. They would have had to rotate 5-man lineups, like fresh players in every quarter or whatever, and then they will blow Kuzu High. They wouldn't have a chance. This just goes to show that Yokohama, if they were seriously trying to win this game, it wouldn't even be a contest. But they're trying to give their sophomores some run and give their sophomores a chance to play together. So Kuzu High has a chance because of that. But I don't know what Kuzu's gonna do to get back into this game. I really don't. Like, we see Kenji has recovered from Fula basically taking his lunch money earlier in the game, so he's playing somewhat decently, and maybe Kenji's gonna be the linchpin for the eventual comeback for Kuzu in the fourth quarter. But I just don't see it. Like, it's gonna have to be something miraculous for them to come back and make this game a competitive game. Even have to score within 10 points at the end is gonna take a large feat. And I don't know who on the team can do it. Maybe Sora, for Sora, all of his shooting can get back to the can get them back into the game. You know, 3-point shots are a great equalizer within basketball. So maybe, or maybe Shigeyoshi comes off the bench and does something. But right now, I just don't see it happening, man. This league seems even more insurmountable than it did before, when you have Yozan coming in and making Yokohama even better. Besides the bullshit reason that Yozan gets into the game, this was another solid episode of Ahiru no Sora, and my prediction of Kuzuhai not winning this game is looking more and more like it'll be correct. But now, Kuzuhai are the characters we follow, so I hope they find a way to get back to this game. I'm not rooting against Kuzu. I just don't see a way for them to win. That's all I have for you guys in this one. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. And if you are so inclined, subscribe. I would appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one.